All right, are we up? I think we're up. T-1, 0, it says here. Right. Oops, zoomed in a bit too close maybe. Camera should be where I left it the other day. Where are we going to go? Are we zoomed in too close? Okay, let's get some work done and then see what's on the chat here. You know where we are, you know what's going on. It's going to be waves for the next foreseeable future here. That's in, that's in, that's in. This is out. That stays, that stays, that stays. So I think this stays. I'm not quite sure here. Let's see. All right, what's up here? Okay, again, this stays, so this must come out tight. Keep track of the positives and negatives here. So good morning, good evening, everybody. Still saying hello, okay? I think we'll finish the wave bits today. No. We have, this section might be done today, depending on how much time I spend wasting answering questions. No. Over here, there's lots more. We have days more work on these waves. I say days more, meaning only working an hour or so a day on it. If I was doing nothing else, this wouldn't take all that long. But given the parameters here, I'm just working 90 minutes or so every day on this. So it's going to take a while to do this. Normally if this works uninterrupted, you just sit there peacefully and chew away, and stuff actually starts to get done, You look up and it's lunchtime and you've done a whole bunch of it. It's I can't say it's efficient work, but it moves along. But because for me it's such a start and stop situation, just a few minutes a day, not even every day. Today's parties, we've got 3 parties booked as I speak. There could be more coming in. But we've got good, strong staff on today. Today it's Shiba-san and I think it's Shiba-san and Audrey-san and maybe Rei-chan, the younger Rei-chan. So there's good party staff. All I have to do is introduce the parties and get out of the way. So I'm downstairs with Aoyama-san today. We're going to, at least the plan is, we're going to put the ceiling in the party room. All the prep is done. So we're going to be putting a ceiling up today. We've talked about it before. Because of the structure of the room down there, we can't, at the moment there's a hung ceiling in there, a ceiling that hangs from the concrete. But we can't hang more from that because we don't have access up above it to see what the anchoring is like. We can't get up to the concrete. without disturbing the old panels that are there. So we've built a new ceiling structure that's so totally self-supporting inside the current room shape. So we built a new ceiling, and today we put the panels in. And the room will be transformed, absolutely. The wiring's already in there and waiting, so once the ceiling goes in, we'll put in the lights. And the room should be totally transformed today. Unless there's too much happening upstairs and I get distracted upstairs. And then on the train last night on the way back from Ome, it's like a 2.5 hour trip, you know. So on the train last night, I got my laptop out and I worked on the next YouTube video. I got the presentation concept ready for the next YouTube video. So I think I'll try and steal time sometime, I don't know, maybe this coming weekend to get that done. It's been a month since we've done a video, and I'm getting emails, you know, Dave, are you okay? What's going on? You know, yeah, I'm okay, but you know. No, that's positive, positive. This is also positive. These are negative. Let's chop these out. The next YouTube video is going to be fun. I don't know, there's a bit of a special touch to it. We're going to do some myth killing. Are there any plans for another print identification event? I don't know. That's a matter of when I get a stack of prints that I don't know what they are. At the moment, I don't have such a stack at hand. But next time I do, yeah, we'll think about doing that. I was a bit hesitant to do that because it sort of makes me look a bit like an idiot. But whatever, yeah. If you like that, then we can do it again. Yeah, I don't play music here because of the issues, of course, you know, so. The Mythbusters, yeah, maybe I should, can I call it that? Is that a that's probably a name that somebody is already using, but. The myth in question here is that when people talk about the history of ukiyo-e in terms of the Western discovery of it, there's this classic story that the West discovered Japanese ukiyo-e by means of wrapping paper. That when shipments of stuff were made from Japan to Europe, I don't know, ceramics or whatever, all the stuff was wrapped in ukiyo-e prints. And this thing has sort of grown a bit out of hand, and it's quoted and misquoted all over the place. And that's not how it happened. And maybe this next video we're going to show what really happened. At least my take on it anyway, you know, whatever. I wasn't around in 1850, but I think I know what happened. So. That's a bit of oil, camellia oil. And that makes the paper totally transparent. But you can only do it at the last minute before you start carving. I can't put it on the whole block and let it sit, because otherwise the paper will just come off. It softens the glue, you know. But if you do it at the last minute, just before you carve, it makes the leftover paper totally transparent. You really see what you're doing. There's the guys outside that it sounds like construction workers again. It's not actually construction. What they're doing is we're approaching now the Sanja Matsuri, the giant festival, the Sanja Festival. It's the third weekend in May here in Asakusa. So I think this year it's the 18th, 19th, 20th. I don't know what the dates are, something like that. I think that's what somebody said. And it's a real big deal, and construction has already started on a bunch of the displays and the illuminations and stuff like that. Our particular street, Dokdori, the street we're on, Dokku 6th District Street, we don't actually do much for that. Because this is a commercial street, it's mostly shops. There's not many residents on this street. The Sanja Festival is for residents. It's, they parade and carry the portable shrines around. And the people who participate are, for the most part, the people who live here. And it's the job of the businesses here, which is mostly what this street is, to act as backup support, financing, donations. And then one job that this street does is there's a resting space when the portable shrines are being carried around town on that day, the 19th and 20th. They're carried around by, you know how it works, dozens of people heaving and carrying and holding these things around. And those people need refreshments. They need basically beer, a lot of beer. And then for the kids' versions, the kids' portable shrines, they need, of course, juice and snacks and stuff. So it's the Merchants Association of this street that provides all that stuff. We buy and prepare tons and tons and tons of beer and snacks and all that kind of stuff. And as it happens, the place where one of the shrines stops, it's been decided from whatever decades before, more than decades, I have no idea, happens to be right in front of Mokohankan. This is, of course, nothing to do with us. We've come in here and we're in the hot spot, as it were. So it's me, our staff, and the nearby shops which have to prepare this food and drink for the shrine people. And there's a sort of a book, a scheduling book that goes around. Shrine number 1 will stop here at 8:25 and 30 seconds, and it will park for 2 minutes and 15 seconds and then get going. It's like a military operation. It's a gigantic, gigantic operation. The manual to run the festival, I saw a copy of it. I don't have one. It's about 3 centimeters thick. It's like a 500-page manual. Operations manual for this festival. All the shrines, the festival carts, where they're carried, who carries them, what color the costumes are going to be. It's an absolutely staggering event. There will be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people visiting. There will be thousands, literally thousands of policemen on duty around the district that day. It's a huge event. And our little part of it involves getting beer, juice and snacks ready at the exact time and place when those festival people will come down the street, drop their cart and say, "Where's my beer?" And it had better be ready. And how it's going to affect us at Mokohankan is the previous tenant of our building, the downstairs tenant, was a jeweler. And he had this big wide space. The shop's actually quite large. And he didn't have much stuff in it. He just had a few, rings and bracelets and all that kind of stuff, which didn't take up much room. So in his shop downstairs, he had lots of empty open space. He had display cabinets, but he also had lots of empty open space. So over the past few years, he was here for 18 years. Over the past 18 years, it's been customary that the beer and juice and snacks and whatever gets stored inside this building, the first floor of this building, for the first few days, the few days running up to the festival. The delivery trucks come and drop it all off here. And then as the countdown ticks towards getting the actual stuff out on the street, the nearby merchants gather here, unpack all the stuff, set up trestle tables, get the beer poured, and get everything done. I mean, long story short, we are going to have to step into that role. So our shop on the 18th, 19th, and 20th of this month is going to become the repository for this stuff. Where was I? Yeah, here in this corner. So it's affected our preparations and our very design for the shop. We have to make sure that whatever design we build for this shop allows some open space for the storage of all these boxes for a few days at this festival time. And we've known about this. It isn't a surprise. We've known about this right from the beginning. So we've incorporated this. We're not building any big, heavy furniture, display stands, whatever, right at the entrance to the shop, because we know we have to provide space for about 40 big, giant boxes full of stuff, beer bottles and snacks and all that kind of stuff. So this will be the first time for us to be right on the front line. We've helped before by coming down from upstairs and helped pour the beer and stuff like that. But because we weren't even members of the association, we were just sort of, just hanging around on the edge of it. But now we're at ground zero. Absolutely ground zero. It's going to be good fun. And we have to all wear our 69 clothes. We have special t-shirts and coats with a special logo of this business district, which is a 6 intertwined with a 9. Roku, 6 in Japanese, is the number of the district. And ku, 9 in Japanese, is the word district. So district number 6 is Roku. And it can be drawn as 6, 9, which some bright spark here took as the logo and drew up a logo with a 6 and a 9, and the rest is history. And I don't think they know about other meanings of the term, and I ain't gonna tell them. Where are we? Videos of the Festival Madness if we can, but it's going to be tough because we are going to be part of the madness. Do they at least thank you guys for it? It's not a question of thanks. We are members of the association. We're members of the community. This is our job to do the stuff. It's not a question of thanks. It's just, everybody knows what they have to do. We've stepped into this district. We've stepped into this community to become members. So of course we take on the responsibilities of being a community member. Pay for it. Who pays for the beer? We are now a member of the Merchants Association. So we pay a monthly fee to the association. It's on a 4,200 yen. So about $40 is our monthly cost for being part of this association. There's contributions from City Hall. There will be a contribution from Sensoji Temple and the Shrine, which also contribute to all the upkeep of the festival. So there's no heavy money expense for us on this. Set up a camera on the roof pointing down into the street. We could do that, I guess, whatever. Oh, we could do that. We are just going to be so freakingly, insanely busy. It's hard to think about what we should do with streaming and stuff, Not to be unfriendly, but whatever, You know, if one of our social media fans, whatever, some Twitch member or a regular YouTube viewer or something, was someone who lived in Japan, lived in Tokyo nearby, we'd sort of sign them on for the weekend, you know. Hi, here's the camera, here's our passwords, you know, do this thing for us, you know. Because we ourselves are not going to be able to spend a whole lot of time fooling around with setting up streams and, you know. There's a lot of uncertainty over the festival the last couple of years. You know, we've talked about this before, I think, certainly when it was up last year. This festival in particular is going through big changes in recent years. You know, nothing to do with me or us at all. There's a real backstory to it. If you Google Sanja Matsuri, Sanja Festival, and go to the Google Images section, and just look for Sanja Matsuri images, you're going to find tons of images of gangsters, Yakuza gangsters, in the last, I don't know how many years, whatever, in recent years, meaning like the last couple of decades. Gangsters have attempted almost a total takeover of this festival. I didn't know anything about this until I stepped into all this when we came here 3 years ago. And there's a battle going back and forth now between gangster groups from both in Tokyo and from out of town who come here to strut their stuff and to show and openly show their tattoos and stuff, which they're not permitted to do in most areas and most places. And this festival became the place over the past few decades where these guys were just, oh, whatever, leave them go, let them strut their stuff. But they took they went too far. They went way too far. There was some fatalities. And now there's a battle back and forth. The police and the community are trying to get these guys out of here. And the gangster groups are not going to go home and play, you know, and play ball. They want to take over here. And there's some blood on the streets here. You know, not in terms of like shootouts and guns and stuff like that, but in terms of jostling for possession of the shrines. The gangster groups, they're really right-wing guys to a large extent, and this Shinto business is really big for them. So they consider they consider themselves to quite a degree as being the protectors of this homemade Japanese religion. You know. And there's the first year I was here, I had no idea about all of this, but I saw a battle outside the window here between gangster groups and the local guys over who was going to get to carry this shrine for the next half an hour. And it wasn't guns and knives, but it was elbows in teeth. There was blood being spit on the ground because they were just wrestling with each other as to who was going to get control of this thing. And it's not pretty. You know. There won't be any of that probably this year in front of our shop because the police have now really, really tried to clamp down on this. And every shrine handover now, when one group gets too tired, they put it down and hand it off to the next group. This is where the gangsters were trying to muscle in for the pickup. And what happens now is as the shrine is put down, the police, a bunch of policemen, 20, 30 policemen, form a ring around it with their arms locked together, facing outwards. And then when the whistle blows from the priest and the new group rushes in to pick up the shrine and take it over, the police are only letting into the ring people who are, you know, the ones they know, the local community people, not the outside gangsters. And it's a fight. It's an absolute fight. And what they do now is every one of these shrines, there's two policemen, undercover, not with police uniforms, two undercover policemen who have GoPro cameras on large sticks. And one goes in front of the shrine looking backwards, and one follows the shrine looking forwards with these GoPro cameras held up on like 3-meter poles, overviewing this whole scene so that they can catch evidence when they need to, you know, find people for prosecution and stuff. You know. It's a crazy scene, And I've got no idea. It's a battle that's been flowing back and forth. And last year, it was fairly quiet because the police presence was very heavy. And what nobody knows at this point now, are the gangsters going to sort of quietly scale back a bit, or are they going to push back? And we'll see. And it's happening on our doorstep on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And none of this is anything to do with us. There's no threats against us. There's no trouble for us at all. This is not that kind of gangsterism. It's just those boys who want to carry that shine. Yeah, the gangsters, these are pretty low-level gangsters, you know. It's the usual stuff. It's racketeering, prostitution. It's not something that really affects most people in Japan at all, you know. The history of this yakuza thing in Japan is, at least in the 20th century, it's a sort of a standoff. The police recognize that there are criminals, and as long as the criminals don't come out and affect normal people, there's no shakedowns of normal businesses. If you're running a bar, then yeah, you got to deal with those guys. But if you're running a woodblock print workshop, you don't have to deal with them. They've never been here. And that's the sort of social standoff. They're left alone to do their stuff as long as they don't, you know, hurt or interfere with normal people. But it's changing over the years. And in the recent years, there's been much less acceptance of them. The general mood is they'd like to get rid of these guys. There's much more police activity against them. But again, for most of us, we don't see or hear this stuff. Whoa, where are we? 8:37. Is this, who is this? Suga-san, maybe? No idea who it could be. Yeah, it is. Cameron's doing an early day today. Wow.
Yeah. Surprise.
It seems a fairly chatty stream this morning, so...
Chatty, you said?
It seems a bit chatty, so...
Oh, okay. Great.
Both them and me, so...
And you. That's always fun. It's going to be a warm, nice day today.
Yeah, so... we heard about it. The Ome people were convinced it was going to pour rain today, you know.
Really?
There's a festival in Ome today, and they were all convinced it was going to be cancelled. So.
Oh, no.
And maybe that's just the outskirts of Tokyo, I don't know.
Yeah. I checked the forecast for today. It's just sunny, a little bit of clouds later, but no rain.
Hey,
you got the haircut. They were open.
Yeah, she was open. So.
Great.
We were joking about this at the beginning of the stream. I think there might still be a bit of a misunderstanding here.
Uh-oh.
At the beginning of the stream, I said, I went to Ome yesterday. It was good. I took the winter insulation off the windows. And I chatted with the ladies, touched base, saw they're new. They put some new flowers up. And then I said I made my visit to the lady down the street who offers special services in her home. You know.
Oh, no.
So I think
haircut special service.
Well, I didn't mention that, but and somebody said, I hope she at least offered you some tea when it was over. You know, I said, no tea. She's pretty cut and dried. You know. So,
yikes. Good morning.
You introduced yourself. There's a bunch of new faces again, I think so.
Hello, new people. I think someone's already introduced me.
Okay.
Maybe. Or maybe not. But I've been here since last October, helping with the emails and order processing and stuff like that. Trying to stay behind the scenes except on the morning stream.
All clear yesterday, the first of billing? I saw a ton of payments and stuff came in during the night, so there must have been emails and stuff must have actually gone out properly, it seems.
Some of the people actually wrote and said, I got this month's email.
What did we do differently? It's sent from a different computer. I don't trust that thing upstairs now.
So
Not one
weird.
bit. Not one bit.
Because, yeah,
No,
I
good,
had someone
good,
say,
good.
oh, I got it this
Good,
time. I
good.
haven't been getting them, so whatever.
Yeah. No, that Wi-Fi upstairs, I'm sorry, I don't trust now at all.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Good, good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Someone named Seth Raptor asks, do you do printing on stream as well as carving? Yes, depends on the day though. When was the last time you did some printing? It wasn't too
Probably
long ago,
owls or something. Do I do
No.
printing on the stream? Also,
Yeah.
so I'll be doing more. I know the Patreon chibis are coming up.
That's right.
And
They were coming up. You haven't done them yet.
No, I know. At the moment, Day-chan's doing 100, Kawai-san's doing 100, so I can't really interfere with the block. But I'll be doing a batch. Subi-san will be doing a batch. So there will be printing on stream. And then also, when I was in Ome yesterday, she gave me a rundown on some of the stuff we are low on stock on.
Uh-oh. How long a list is that?
No, but number one on the list was...
Oh, no.
So that's coming soon to a theater near you.
Yeah.
More owl printing. So.
More owl printing. Someone used the owl command already. Oh. Oh, Jed jumped in. Said, hi, Cameron. Hi, guys.
So I was chatting with him this morning just before the stream started. So
Good morning, good evening, Jed, whatever time it is. So it's afternoon for you in Utah. It's not quite late evening or anything. Those of you in Europe, it's middle of the night. Speaking of middle of the night, I think I got an email from you in the middle of the night. Was it pretty late when you sent, or was the clock on my... It was forwarded from Pear.
well, that's automatic.
Oh, that's automatic.
Nothing to do with
Okay.
me. That's Pittsburgh time.
Okay.
The monthly billing has been
Yeah,
finished.
yeah.
No, that's where
Okay,
you're
so
on
you've
the
got it
support.
as an-
No, you're forwarded. So we set
Okay.
up a forward on my machine that when it comes into me, it's automatically
It says
forwarded.
coming
to you.
from Pear to you.
I
Okay.
was asleep. I was
Okay.
asleep.
I thought it was like
No,
2:24.
Oh yeah.
You're
okay,
awake.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was doing that. I was just trying to keep tabs on you. And,
Yeah, I figured that's what it was. Okay.
Well, that's the support thing. We want that automatic no matter what time of day because if something happens over at the web end
Yeah.
of it, we want to hear what's going on. So
Got it.
so that's a real time action.
Okay. Great. Let's see. Jed says, I'm trying to make a spreadsheet to figure out the cost for the upcoming Neo Tokyo project. My brain hurts. Math. That's going to be a big project from what I've
The spreadsheet
heard.
does the math. What do we mean here?
Yeah.
No, so-
But I guess trying to figure out what numbers go where,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Well, what the numbers are. It's
Yeah, what the
pretty
numbers
early
are.
on that series to tell at the moment. You know,
yeah.
it's early days.
But Kantar said the same thing. You're doing it wrong. The spreadsheets are supposed to do the math for you, just like you just said. Knight Reynald, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he said, the prints from Mokuhankan have a distinct scent. Anyone know what that is? They smell like Japan.
It depends what you got. If you got stuff that came from Kubota-san, we have tried to get out the tobacco smell. You know, if
Yeah.
you've got like the last Flight of Fantasy we just got through just the other day. And,
Air them out a little bit.
but other than that, it's whatever, washi and yeah.
The glue and the pigment. Well, they're all pretty much scentless. There you go.
And it could be if they're Ukiyo Heroes prints, the last packing is not Japan, it's Utah. I mean,
Yeah.
what-
Blame Jed. Huh. I don't know this picture. Someone said, do you know when this picture was taken? But I was expecting it to be a picture of you, but it's not someone I recognize. Do you?
It's me.
It is you?
I'm 15 years old, and this one, for some reason, is being passed around the internet like David on his family yacht or something. You know?
Huh.
I'm 15 or 16, and my dad had, this was Vancouver, so it's a port city, and my dad had a job that had lots of spare time. He was playing in the Air Force, the Canadian Air Force. He was in one of the military bands.
Oh,
And the deal was they worked in the morning from 9 to 12 rehearsing, and then if there was no parading or official deals or tours or whatever, then that's it. They buggered off for the afternoon. That was his job all the time I was a kid. So he joined one of these clubs that teaches sailing. This is down in the port of Vancouver. It was called the Jib Set.
Jib set.
Jib Set. And he wanted to like buy a boat and all this kind of stuff. My mother is, you cannot get a boat. The two of them, they went back and forth on this many years.
Yeah.
She's probably listening now, whatever she knows about this. But that was a sailing club he joined to learn how to sail. And I guess he got his first level of certificate A or certificate B or whatever it is, allowing you to rent one of the Jib Set's boats and go out into the harbor and, potter around.
Yeah.
And I guess as you get higher and higher and higher, you can rent a bigger boat and out you go sailing.
Okay.
So this was, I guess, at some point he had got the first level.
Yeah.
So down goes the family one Sunday afternoon or whatever it was. So my parents and the three of us kids, and there's this little rented boat, and it was an almost totally windless day, which perhaps had all been arranged, by either him or my mother or whatever. I don't know. And we put the motor on and putted this thing out into Vancouver Harbor a little bit under the Landsgate Bridge, and there we are.
Oh.
And after a while, no wind, but whatever, we put it back in, and there we go. There's our day of sailing. And that was the only day he ever got the family out there to do this. It's too bad. I feel a bit sad. He had really wanted to do it, but just life got in the way, and he had a job, and my mother wasn't interested in sailing, and the two of them were never able to reconcile that difference. So, but there's that picture now, which is shot from our family camera.
Yeah.
And it's in my little photo album. And every time there's a TV show here, like people want to see photos, where's your baby pictures and where's your whatever. They always grab this one. And so that picture's been used in any number of TV shows about me.
That's why in the corner it says Tokyo 2020.
Yeah, whatever. Is that where it was used? I don't even know. So they just grab this folder. I just give them the file and say, here, look, grab what you want, whatever. And they always glom on this one. Like, here's David Rich Hampton's family on the family yacht, whatever. So, that's it. It's a Vancouver Harbor on a windless afternoon. I'm 16, so it must be 1967. Yeah. Somewhere around there, 66 or 67. On the only day my dad ever got the family together out on a boat. So.
Cool.
And it's presumably going to become one of the pictures that defines me for some reason or whatever.
Saying, it's Dave without a beard.
Well, I didn't have much of a beard at 16 or whatever age it is.
I think most people do not much of a beard at 16.
I think what I should do to preempt this, I should get that family photo album or something. Just scan them all. Yeah. And just dump it on one corner of the website. So it's a bunch of different pictures. Yeah, look through it, whatever. So.
V3X0R6 lives in North Vancouver.
He'll know the area then, absolutely.
Yeah.
The place, the Jib Set, must have been down in Cole Harbour, and we rented the boat there and then potted out into Cole Harbour and then under the Landsgate Bridge out into English Bay. For all I know, that company's still there. It was called the Jib Set or something. I'm sure something like it is still there, if not that same one.
Yeah. Nonsense. Dave was born with a beard and wild hair. I think we have already evidence to the contrary.
It's funny, there was a comment about my hair this morning on the old video, this Ito Susumu video, the one with whatever. Yeah. The comment was kind of, I looked at this first time, what? And it was a sort of semi-sarcastic smiley face comment, and it said something like, this man's hair has become aware and now does all his question answering for him or something. I don't know. The gags about my hair, I don't know.
Apparently you were also born with a baron in one hand and a chisel in the other.
Not at all. Not at all. I was 29 before I touched this stuff. 29.
Oh, Jed said, it's nice to be here finally, a long trip in New York, and you're back. How was the trip in New York? Was it a good one?
Do you know what he went? There's the famous Japanese festival. I forget what it's called. The Brooklyn. It's in
Botanic Gardens.
Yeah. And it's some kind of Sakura Matsuri. They call it. And it's more world famous, whatever. It's certainly famous in New York as being a fabulous Japanese festival. If the weather's good, because it's all outside tents and in the garden and stuff.
So if the weather cooperates, it's great. If it doesn't, no fun at all.
And it's very eagerly anticipated. I think my friend April Vollmer usually participates there with some kind of printmaking tent.
Neat.
She has a tent to do displays of printmaking stuff.
Cool.
In recent years, Jed's been there, I think, every year for the past, 3, 4, 5 years. He can tell us.
Cool.
It's a very highly regarded festival.
Let us make myths about you, about the big boy. No, that's weird. Then Evan Doyle 1 asks, do you regret not touching carving earlier, before 29?
No, I'm having a good life. I don't regret anything. We can't rewrite stuff, We are who we are. You
didn't know about it before then.
Of course not. Maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I would have just, most of the stuff I did in my 20s and before, I tried it and quit and tried it and quit and tried it and quit. The flute playing, the guitar playing, the composing, all the saxophone, whatever, I got good at stuff and then quickly quit.
Yeah.
And maybe printmaking might have been
one of those.
Sure, I don't know. No idea. No regrets like that. Not at all. I'm not a look back kind of guy. I'm a let's look forward kind of guy, mostly, as much as I can. Says he who wrote the story week, all stories that look back. But anyway, in my activities, I look forward.
Yeah. What does that mean? How long has Dave been in Japan? Is it 30?
We moved here in '86, so it's 32. Actually, it's more. It's in the 33rd year. But I was here before that for 3 months and different trips. But the physical uprooting and moving happened in 1986. So
cool.
I think I've got a spreadsheet somewhere, a little one, to do the calculations when it becomes the longest of my life. It's not yet, because it was 5 years or so in Britain, then 30 odd years or so in Canada, and now 30. It's coming up soon, I think. This will now be the longest single place.
Did you produce any prints while you were in Canada? Because I know you worked, but do you have them in any catalogs or any leftover?
They're certainly not for sale. There's a section on the website that says where I've been, where I'm going. And it shows, I scanned them all, put them all up. I don't have number 1.
Okay.
Because I didn't keep it more than about 10 or 15 seconds. I threw it away.
I remember you saying
that. I threw it away seconds after it was made.
Well, that's rubbish.
So I pulled the one copy up and thought, this is not what we go through that away, through the block away. No, not to sort of destroy the evidence, but I didn't think about it. Okay, that didn't work. Now let's try again. So I've got number 2. I've got the block. I may have the block, I'm not sure. But I've got some prints from it. But I don't have number 1. I didn't hide them. They're on the website. I scanned them, told the story. Look at this. Look how funny it is. And this is how it started.
Cool.
I don't know how to get to it without Googling whatever. It's called Where I've Been, Where I'm Going. So
cool.
It's on the woodblock.com website. Nothing to do with Oklahoma. And they're terrible, of course. But, whatever. Nothing embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's only embarrassing if you... No, it's not. It's not embarrassing at all. It's funny to see some of the guys on the Accolade page, their first print, whatever, and they're mostly, for the most part, way, way better than what I did. My excuse for that is, of course, they've got help. There's the internet and other stuff and advice and whatever, and I had, absolutely nothing. So that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. So.
Sounds good. I think it can be encouraging for anyone who does want to try it. You can say, you can start at any level with anything and just keep putting in the effort and practice and stuff, and your skills should improve.
Today downstairs should be the ceiling going in the party room. I'm not sure. I'm supposed to be here yesterday. And
he did come in.
Did he?
For a little bit.
What he was planning on doing when I spoke to him, he was going to try and fit the shoji screens up. And if he managed to get that ready, then the next job is the ceiling.
Okay.
But if he had trouble with the shoji screens and didn't work out, then that'll be today's job.
Okay,
So I don't know what he's done. And we got 4. We're busy with parties today, but we have strong staff. It's Shiba-san and Audrey. They're going to do it.
Oh, great. They'll do a great job.
So I can get downstairs freely, I think. So we'll see. And I'm clear, right? The payroll and bookkeeping, you're good to
Yep.
go on this stuff. So
Looking good so far.
we got enough in the bank for the.
Yeah, and you've counted all the prints that were piled up, right?
I don't have any.
I brought you the box. I think that's the Kanai
So that is
ones.
no. It's Tsushima-san's
Tsushima-san.
chibis and stuff.
Okay.
They have to be counted.
Okay.
And then there was something else. I know. Before I forget, sorry, people on stream don't care about this, but I know. Yes, Susan asked me, where's the Daruma from Reichan? Reichan apparently, in the printing jobs, there's a printing job for Reichan for Daruma.
Yeah.
And I know she did such a thing. I haven't seen the prints. So either she's holding them.
I think she's, currently
holding
doing some things with them, yeah.
whatever, it's payday. I mean, we need to pay her for it. So can you, she's in today, so can you grab her on that?
Yep.
Just if she's too embarrassed to finally bring them out and show me, I don't care. Get them out and let's have a look at them.
Yeah.
And because she's still under quote trainee status, it doesn't matter if this stuff is not good. She'll get paid, so don't worry about it. We'll work something out.
Yep. Oh, someone's shared the link for Dave's Where I've Been, Where I'm Going. So thank you.
It's in some kind of funny frame setup. I don't even remember what it is. And there's a menu on the left, and you click into a frame, and it pops up somewhere else. It might not work on mobile. It's just ancient code.
Yeah.
Font size +3.
Archaeological web
whatever.
design.
So no guarantees on whether it will work or not.
Is it Golden Week in Japan? Yes, it is. But this year it ended up being weirdly timed. One of the holidays on Monday, then Tuesday and Wednesday were not holidays.
And
today's
school
Wednesday.
is open today. This is insane.
Yeah, school is going on. But then Thursday and Friday are holidays again.
And the schools, man, we had such trouble with this with our kids. Whenever it turned out this way, we don't take our kids out of school, head down to Granddad's place for 10 days.
Go for a week, yeah.
Of course, common sense. The teacher says, you are planning on doing what? Because it's like school's only been open.
Yeah.
It's April 1st. They have the new entrance ceremony.
Yeah.
And they've had a month of stuff, and then now we're in May, and you can't take a holiday yet, So the whole system it's actually in chaos. There's families who want to go to Hawaii, who want to do normal stuff. It's the only chance for dad to get off his business.
Yeah.
And little Johnny has to go to school for 2 days right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And the teacher says, over my dead body. Yeah. It's gonna happen to you too, yeah. It really needs the government to step in and make a decision on what to do with this damn thing.
Yeah.
Whether to make it a week, close the schools,
Just make it a holiday.
Make it a holiday, do it. But they've overdone that a bit, and there are too many legal holidays because they do the emperor thing. Each time one guy dies, the next one becomes a holiday, and they can't take it away from the old guy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
and they also 2 years ago added Mountain Day. I think there was another one in August.
C Day, I forget what they all are.
Yeah, there's multiple. I think it was Mountain Day, and then a few years before that they added C Day, something like this.
It's under pressure from the society in general. Add more holidays, people work too hard, but it doesn't. They keep adding them on, and it doesn't make the slightest bit of difference
because everyone just works through the holidays anyway.
Your salary not type,
Yeah.
So, and it just screws everything up.
Yeah.
So it's really in need of a whole rethink for the whole system.
Yeah.
The government's just not strong enough to grab hold of that and do it. They don't have enough capital to be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, that section I believe is done. I might have forgotten something. Who knows? We move on now to more waves.
Woohoo!
Finish some waves, move on to some waves.
And then the color box for the waves.
Yeah, color box for the waves. I do like my job, It's okay.
Yeah. Lots of waves.
We're going to get a ton of fun out of this. If it really does work for the print parties, my God, it's going to be a ton of fun.
Oh yeah,
But
love it.
It's a big if.
Yeah.
That last gradation, I don't know.
Which gradation are you doing? Is it the black?
The gray sky
gray,
won't be a gradation. That'll be just cut on a block that ends up near the top. The black behind the mountain. We want to try and do it as a gradation.
Let's see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. And if it's just a disaster, we'll just cut a block short so it's a beveled edge at the top instead of a gradation. But we'll try it first.
Yeah.
We may actually have a couple of blocks. Keep block A and block B because it's the last one in the process. By the time we get there, we have a good idea about what our people are like, what kind of a group we have by there. And if it's a competent group, people are doing well, then we'll pull out the gradation block and do that. If it's a group of turkeys, whatever, people that have had trouble doing it, can't hold the paper, they're just flustered, then we'll just go to plan B. So I think we'll keep both in mind.
What is it like living in Japan? I don't think we have enough time to summarize life in Japan on this stream. But
it's also who's the question coming from? What kind of environment are you in?
Sean BM123.
Like, what does the question mean? Are you in an urban modern country, or are you in Angola? You know, really, without being sarcastic. You know?
Yeah, that's a very broad question. Hard to answer. Turkeys deserve a gradation too. Well, I think, like you've said in the past, you like everyone to feel happy and successful at the end of it, so it's good to match with what they can do.
Exactly. We don't want anybody to feel like they failed.
Yeah.
And so far, we're 99.99999% onto that.
Yeah.
Very, very few people have failed. The only ones who so far have come to this print party and felt failure are people who have a bizarre level of control freakiness. You know, just they want absolute perfection on the very first print they've ever made. You know, I mean, that's how bizarre you have to be unhappy about the experience you have here. You know? Oh my God, it doesn't look any good. Lady, it's the very first woodblock print you've ever made. You give yourself a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And there are people who just can't do that. You know? Very rare, but there are such people.
Yeah. Kantar, yes, Mountain Day is called the Yamanohi. And I think they added it in August because there wasn't a national holiday in August, so they're like, here, have one. Just put it in.
I mean, the fact that there's Obon, which everybody has to do and has to take, but it wasn't.
But it's not officially
it's
a national holiday.
Exactly. But it would have made much more sense to tie that to him. I ain't the prime minister here.
Yeah.
It's chaos now. The holiday scene in Japan is absolute chaos. And the whole thing's when you and I worked out that contract, remember we were looking at the standard legal contracts, and when we downloaded from the government website, which outlined all the holidays everybody should take and all the days off and all this. And at the end, what was it with a little star mark at the bottom?
But managers are exempt from these requirements or something.
But it wasn't just that. It was anybody who has any kind of a job that in any way can be considered some sense a managerial job.
Yeah.
All the previous things do not apply.
Do not apply.
And they said that with a straight face. It's in a government standard contract downloaded for use. You know. So, Kevin, you can forget about like holidays and stuff, right? You know, I'm legally protected by all this. You know.
That's fine. I'll just be sad. No.
Your choice to live in Japan, right?
Yep.
Oh, hey, I sent you an email yesterday. The thing in the subway station.
Yes,
it's up.
Thank you. I wanted to run over there too and go.
Shiba-san's here today.
Oh, good. We can show her. Do people know about this?
No, I haven't mentioned it at all. So tell them.
Okay.
You know how to get. You have to exit platform 2. Ginza-line Asakusa station when you're exiting on platform 2, which is the left-hand side.
Yeah, there's a new screen. It's a large display, a big 4K display. What did they say? Like 70 inches or something. It's huge.
It's bigger than that. It's a touch panel, area map / advertising / tourist information display.
Yeah, it's huge, and
we are in it.
We're in it. There's, what was it?
30. It's a grid of 30.
Yeah, a grid 6x5 of companies all with big logos, and we're one of the 30 in the whole neighborhood.
And this is McDonald's and all these places,
companies.
Uniqlo, McDonald's, all these high-end
things,
and Mokohanka.
Yeah.
So you'll see it. I've got criticisms, and we've got to pass on to this guy. There are some things that really should need to be changed. I don't know how much they can change.
On our side or on the other companies?
On their side. It comes up in Japanese.
Yeah.
The default is Japanese.
Okay.
It should be should be English. This is a tourist freaking information panel.
Yeah.
Default is Japanese, and the button to change it to English is about 6 millimeters high, down in the bottom left-hand corner, and I couldn't find it. And I knew it was there.
The
other person who doesn't even know is going to look at this panel in Japanese. It's all Greek, and they're going to just walk away.
Right past it. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So get on these. Go down there yourself. Get your own. Go down. Maybe take Shiba-san down there to look at it and take some pictures and blog about it.
Yeah.
And then whatever you'll have your own criticism, but that's one of mine. That fixed.
Get the language logo or language buttons bigger.
I know there doesn't seem any room for it. They have got to. It's got to be a floating panel, whatever, or touch to select your language or something. If they don't do that, not 1 in 1,000 people is going to find our information.
Yeah. Bummer.
But it's beautifully produced. It does its job exactly as they told us it's going to look like. It's very well made.
Yeah.
The thing,
Except for the language.
whatever. That's a a design feature. Yeah. But it does work. It does its thing. The map is nice. When you do press the Mokohankan logo, up comes our thing, print parties. And at the very moment you're doing this, your eye gets caught because something on the map is throbbing.
Oh, nice.
And the map is throbbing to show the little red thing where Mokohankan is.
Nice.
And your eye gets drawn right to it. So there are some really, really cool things about this.
So
I'm not dissing
well
it.
done. Yeah. Well, that's great.
But it comes up default in Japanese.
Yeah.
Like Mrs. Suzuki doesn't need to know this. Mrs.
Yeah.
Suzuki knows where she's going. She comes out of the gate and bang, she goes to Sensoji Temple,
That's funny. I wonder why they did that.
Yeah, I know why they did it exactly, because it's English, Chinese, and Korean. Which one comes up as the default?
Yeah.
If we put up as English, the Chinese are going to complain, blah, 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 blah. Rotate it, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything. Think about it. Well, it's easy to criticize the results of a software project after it's over. Very difficult to do it, as it's under development.
Right. Yeah, it's this big panel right in the station with all of our information, with the address written out. And we hope it'll bring a lot of people over if they can find the English button. Or it'll bring lots of Japanese people over. I hope so. This block's really coming along.
Bit by bit, yeah. If I do get a chance to knuckle down, I get, can do stuff.
Yeah. Plebby Prawn says, I had to use Google Maps to find you guys. Yep. A lot of people
Did it bring you to the door or did it bring you to the back street? Because there's, they still are misbehaving.
Sometimes, like, over there?
It's in front of that Russian restaurant around the corner. We know it's predictable now. People are saying, they look around, there's a restaurant with a red sign. I know where they are. It's the Russian restaurant, Darus.
Huh.
Just go around the corner and get them.
Yeah. That's funny.
I think Google has, a bunch of different mixed databases, and sometimes
Sometimes they get jumbled up.
Yeah.
Google Maps is sometimes so helpful getting around new areas, and sometimes it is awful.
Whatever, overall, it's fantastic, of course. Such a facility is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's...
we see every day, without exception, any minute of any day, you go stand outside and you see people walking down the street, following
Google Maps.
The downside of that is you see your screen. People really watch their screen so much.
Yeah. They end up missing what they're walking past.
Plus, minus, yeah.